Hey, it's Dr. Infinity. Welcome to White Pill Media. I'm going to do a super quick review, probably 5 minutes or less, on the 13th Warrior, which I heard it was about like a sword and sorcery type of movie, and I kind of like those. I'm really big on Excalibur and the first Conan the Barbarian. Those are amazing. They're really like the best of the genre. Really recommend those. And I'll bring them up whenever I can. I bring up those movies whenever the hell I can. But I heard that this movie was about. So this movie, full spoilers and everything, is about this Muslim ambassador from Baghdad, and he ends up going north to treat with, I think it's the Tartars, or it's some group of people that's basically in Russia. I guess where Russia's massive, but somewhere in Russia, and he ends up meeting these Vikings that are summoned to go back to their homeland because there's some supernatural enemy going on, and he ends up joining their party as the 13th Warrior. So, I did not think this movie was great. I did not think this movie was even really good, but I did like some of the visuals in it. There were some really cool parts. One of the actors I recognized outside of the main guy was, I'm pretty damn positive that he is from Braveheart. He's the crazy Irish guy. So that was nice to see him. But they get to this village, and apparently some monsters come out whenever there's fog, so they're gonna protect these people. And it's okay, decent enough plot. It's kind of like Seven Samurai in that way. If you've seen that, that's also really good. So there's this supernatural threat, and then there's also the prince of this little kingdom that seems to be antagonistic to them. But this is a plot point that the movie just drops, because the prince and them, they don't get along. They end up fighting a duel with the prince's right-hand man, and they kill him. It never gets brought up again. Just the right-hand man of the prince, he gets killed. We never see the prince on screen again. So I just don't understand what the fuck the point of all this was. Because it wastes 10 minutes in the movie. I don't know if they just needed to pad it out a little bit or what. But that was definitely strange. But they do battle with the monsters a few times. And the earlier parts of the movie are pretty decent. I guess horror or suspense, because it seems like they're kind of demons or supernatural. Something's going on with these creatures. And, they're intimidating because the characters themselves don't know what they're dealing with, right? Eventually, though, after a few battles, they figure out that these things are men, not monsters, and they're going to go to a cave to track down and kill the mother of these Wendell creatures. I don't know if they're based on actual monsters or whatever. I heard that the second half is a based on Beowulf type of thing. It's kind of like Grendel and Grendel's mother. Anyway, I thought some of the visuals in the room when they're going to go kill the mother are pretty good. But in terms of villains and such, the mother of the Wendell and their leader who has the horns of power, it's cooler to have characters speak about them before you actually see them, because they do extremely little. Conan the Barbarian, excellent villains. Thulsa Doom and his two guys, those guys are fucking great. Really great villains. Excalibur has really good visuals and cool villains. And here they're just kind of really mediocre, and that's just disappointing, because you at least want a badass kind of villain guy. Hawk the Slayer, did not like that movie at all. But their main villain at least has some charisma, and he at least looks cool. This movie doesn't have that. So that's just kind of it. They kill the monsters, then it's going to be the final siege at the village, and our main Viking guy, it ends up getting killed. There's a really good image of him just sitting as he's dead, and it kind of reminds me of the story of Cuchulainn when he finally gets killed, and he's just there a chain to a rock. And yeah, I like that. But just plot wise, it just kind of drops the prince, and the cannibal people are kind of supernatural, they're kind of not. It's just I don't really know what happens at the end, where they seem to just all die at once because their leader gets killed. But they have hundreds of cannibals that live less than a day away from their settlement, and I'm just questioning the logistics of this. If there's just one or two small bands of cannibals that lived in some mountains nearby, I could buy it. But there's literally hundreds of them, and they all have horses and shit, and it's just like, I don't know. It really took me out of the film because I thought about it for more than like 20 seconds. You know what I mean? That's kind of it, you know? They kill the leader, Wendell, and then after that, the Muslim guy ends up going back home, and the Vikings are staying there, and that's just kind of the movie. It was, you know, quick and done. I didn't like, you know, I'm not really super upset. I'm not like super upset or disappointed because it was a pretty quick movie, but I was just like, just kind of a waste of time, you know? Besides for a couple visuals, nothing super memorable or, you know, kind of anything that really stands out. Anyways, if you got suggestions for like solid sword and sorcery stuff, you know, let me know. But Conan the Barbarian, fucking excellent. You know, that's always going to be a classic. Excalibur, also great. And that's it. I'll have more reviews next week. And I have an Odysee channel now, which is just for stuff that really wouldn't get published on YouTube or would probably get flagged. We have such classics as Minecraft, but we don't solicit nudes from our underage fans. And me and the boys forced a gunpoint to attend drag queen storytime hour. Classics. Anyway, Dr. Infinity out.